with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the main got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's the local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the floor wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
All right. Here we go. Oh, boy, it's going to be one of those Monday nights. Let's hope not. It is 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time for an all-new live edition of Real Talk Memphis on this, rainy Monday in the city. It's been raining all day. Of course, it's raining again this evening, and we're supposed to get some more rain tomorrow, so we shall not complain, considering the fact that we hadn't had much of the wet stuff in quite a bit of time. So I think this could help the drought situation just a little bit. Anyway, glad to have you with us on this evening. I hope that everybody, please be safe and careful if you're out there on the roads, on the streets, trying to navigate and get through all of this. Make it sure that you get to your destination safely. We have a great show for you this evening. A lot going on in the city, and there's a lot to talk about tonight as well. But first and foremost, for those of you who still, after all these years, don't know how to find this fine piece of radio broadcasting, I will tell you how. First of all, we are on 91.7 on your FM dial. That would be WYXR. And we are also on the WYXR app. You can find us there. If you've heard of the TuneIn app, we are also broadcasting live there. We are efforting Facebook. Hopefully we can get Facebook live tonight. And we are also, later on this week, once the show posts, we are going to be on YouTube. And if you are a big podcast fan, and many of you are, you can find us wherever it is you get your podcast. You didn't know we were a podcast, correct? Yeah, I think you did. Anyway, so there you go. The very simple, easy way. And you know what? Hey, it's raining outside. You know, if you get home and you get wherever you want to stay seated and everything else, just get to a nice, clear, easy spot. Sit back, relax, chill out for the next hour long or so, and absorb some great information. Anyway, speaking of that, I do have a good show for you tonight. In all that is happening in and around our city with the federal insertion and a lot of other things that are going on, I thought it was incumbent upon me to have some guests in studio tonight who can really talk about what is going on from the street level, having been on the street level watching these 13 federal agencies and ICE and the troopers and everything else and what they're doing out here on these streets. Hunter Dempster is here. Many of you, Hunter is an activist with a capital A. He is always on these streets. He's always watching out and watching what is happening in our community. He's here. And Maria, how do you pronounce her name? Oceja is supposed to be joining me as well. They are part of a watchdog organization. Let's see, Vicendorius 901. Thank you, Hunter. V901 watchdog group. They've been really coming up with some very interesting video of some of these stops and other things that are going on. So it's going to be a great conversation. I'm going to be having with them in just a few minutes. A little bit later on, we are going to be speaking with Durrell Cowan. He is the founder and executive director of HEAL 901, dealing with a lot of our young folks out there. And, especially these days now, with all these folks in town, the number one thing most of us are concerned about is how one responds if one is stopped by any of these law enforcement authorities out here. And Durrell has a very close tie to the young folks in our community. So we'll get some words, some advice from him. And a little bit later on, Memphis-Shelby County Schools has initiated a program. It's a mandatory program within the school district. It's a one-day training for young people in reference to gun safety. And that's going on right now. So I'm supposed to have Dr. Rahmod Traylor. He is supposed to be my guest coming in or calling in, checking in a little bit later on in the broadcast as well. So there you go. A lot happening there. And hopefully you will stick with us for the remainder of the program. But first, on this what's today? 22nd? 21st? 19th, 6th, 5th, 4th, what is it? The 6th? The 6th, October 6th. I don't know where I got the 20th from. Anyway, it is October 6th, 2025. You can see what kind of a night it's going to be right there. You go. Anybody who had a birthday today, of course, many of you did, it's time for the celebration we like to... Be quiet, Lola. Lola's just cracking up at me. It's time for the celebration we like to call the shout out. And I can only do that until I say, hit it, Bryn. Happy birthday! All right, here we go. Happy birthday to the following folks. Joseph Cash, celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to Michael Yant. Keith Johnson, celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Ray Watts. Emily Green. Oh, Emily and I used to work together at Channel 5 some years back. Carla Dowell is celebrating her birthday today, as is Latricia Love. And Lola's not sauntering up to the mic today. No birthdays for her, but for all of those of you who are celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to each and every one of you. I hope today has been filled with love and laughter in spite of the raindrops. For all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, we extend best wishes, and we hope to be around next year as you celebrate your next trip around the sun. So, thanks, Brent. So before we move on, I want to acknowledge that actually, I don't know that we did it last week or not, but a lovely young woman who was one of the co-founders of the Brown Singers, a gospel group, Vanessa Brown Knowles, died last Sunday in a traffic accident coming back from performance in Missouri. And she was one of three people that were killed in that accident, and several other folks were injured. I knew her personally. We worked together, and it's just a. When it's someone it's always a little harder. I do know that homegoing services for her will be held this Saturday at Brown Baptist Church at Sweeney Road location, which is in North Mississippi. It'll be at 11 a.m. So may her memory always be a blessing. All right, so let's get to the news of the day, which is, we've got company in town, right? 13 federal agents, people from the federal government from 13 different agencies in little old Memphis, Tennessee. Not only that, 300 supposed troopers running around town out on these highways and byways. And, of course, there is this conversation about the National Guard coming. Well, there is an organization that is kind of watching up all of this going on. But I'm going to read some statistics to you that will bear out why things like this need to be watched. As of today, the Attorney General announced earlier that there have been 321 arrests in this city in 5 days. I'll say it again, 321 arrests. 82 of those arrests, which is 45% of the total number of arrests, were through ICE warrants. 99 were warrant pickups, and 41 people were arrested on gun charges. And by the way, there's an additional 55 number in there that they would not divulge exactly what they were arrested for. So here we go. So we've got overcrowded jails where folks are sleeping down in the intake department. We have a very slow processing situation as pertains to pushing people through the system. So the DA is not happy about all of this. You got 300 people. Where are you putting all these folks? And how quickly can you prosecute them if indeed that is the case? So those are just some of the top layer things that are happening here. And again, we've not heard yet about the National Guard. We know that they're coming, and we don't know how many are coming, and we don't know when they're coming. Mayor Young hasn't been privy to those details or hasn't told us about all of that as of yet. But this is, and it's just beginning. You can imagine if 321 people have been arrested in like 4 or 5 days in this city, what's to come? That is the key question that I think we all need to ask ourselves as to actually how lawful all of this is. Just because the president decided that, Memphis is the target and Governor Lee said, bring these folks down here and try to help clean up things, even though the folks who keep the statistics around here tell you that crime is down. But you never know it by all of this that is happening in and around our communities. So we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes with Hunter and Maria. In the meantime, the president wants to send federal troops to the state of Illinois to handle what? The ICE situation. And that is something that's very pressing there. I think I see Maria. I'm trying to get her to come around to the door. Yeah, she's coming around. All right, so we have this situation going on that they're dealing with some ICE problems there, right, and some unruliness. So the president said he's going to send federal troops to Chicago. Well, the governor said, no, you're not. And the governor of Illinois said, no, you're not. The mayor of Chicago said, no, you're not. They filed a lawsuit against the president, and to this point, the president has been denied in reference to sending troops to those areas. So also there's an issue in Portland, or in Oregon rather, in the city of Portland, where they're having some issues ICE related as well. The president wants to send troops down there. They both have filed lawsuits against him to keep him from doing that. He hasn't done it so far. We will keep a very close eye on all of this situation. So he's trying to take all of this in his own hands. At this point, the courts have both, as I said, sided with the cities and the states in reference to the president being able to send these troops, even though they weren't asked for. So that bears watching as well. Let me lighten the mood just a little bit. Mempho Fest was held this weekend, and it was a rousing success. From everything I heard, Lola was there. She performed, as well as several of our female DJs. Everybody had a great time. Lola was good, a lot of fun. Good time. She said it was a very good time. Everybody had a good time, and I'm glad that we had the event and that it went off without a hitch. And that is what is important. Okay, so now we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to position my guest, and we're going to have a pretty serious conversation about exactly what is happening in our community, how it is affecting our community, and what we can expect next. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Monster Market returns. Memphis's original freaky pop-up shop will be open October 10th through 16th at the Medicine Factory with a brand new collection of strange art, apparel, and home decor. One-of-a-kind oddities sourced exclusively from makers and artists. And unique in-store events every day at Monster Market 2025 this October. More information at memphismonstermarket.com. Support for WYXR comes from the Halloran Center Presents, featuring the Queen's Regency Ball, a 19th century soulful murder mystery in partnership with Princeton James Productions. This interactive dinner theater experience includes a night of mystery, music, and more on October 25th and 26th. More information at orpheum-memphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city, a wet one as it is. Chip with you, and very happy to have you with us, and very happy to have my first guest with me this evening in spite of what we are seeing with the federal government coming and trying to take over our city these days. I've asked the question, they're watching us, but who's watching them exactly? And well, I have two folks sitting with me live in studio that can answer that question because they are doing it. Now, I'm going to do this lady's first thing. Maria, I'm terrible with names. I know your first name. Say your last name for me.
Oceja.
Oceja. Maria Oceja and Hunter Dempster are here from V901, which is an organization, it's a watchdog organization, and they are keeping a very close eye on what is happening with these federal officers and a lot of the stops that are going on. And first of all, thank y'all for coming. Really appreciate it. This is a big time in this city for so many people. And now that it has started, and I think you heard me read the number of statistics in terms of the number of arrests and things that are going on. It's interesting that 45% of the 300, a little over 300 plus arrests are ICE related or ICE, and again, this is something I think that I think is starting to sink in a bit to the community, but without further ado, you all lay out for me. Maria, tell me what you all have seen so far in terms of some of the traffic stops. You've urged people to be careful and cautious, obviously, but also keep your eyes open. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Tuesday night, we knew that U.S. Marshals were going to be executing outstanding arrest warrants. Mm-hmm. And so we already knew that this would be for people who had a previous arrest warrant and were, potentially needed to be aware that a U.S. Marshal was going to come knocking on their door for them, right? So in addition to that, we noticed an increase in traffic stops that same night. So we started to see an increase in state troopers' presence. We started to see federal agents. We saw HSI, U.S. Marshals, FBI, Tennessee Wildlife Agency. We saw all these DEA, all these different agencies conducting traffic stops. Mm-hmm. And so we were asking ourselves, why are they conducting traffic stops if they're supposed to be executing outstanding arrest warrants? Mm-hmm. That makes no sense. Right. And so we continued to track them throughout the night, and we got several phone calls that night. And they were really active all that Tuesday evening into early Tuesday morning. Mm-hmm. They took a pause right before the federal administration came in to Mullen Station. Then after that evening on Mullen Station, they unleashed again. And that's essentially what the message was from the federal administration. You are unleashed into the streets of Memphis. And that's essentially what we saw. We saw a continuance in this increase in traffic stops, pretextual traffic stops, and racial profiling. Now that the Supreme Court has legalized racial profiling in the United States, we noticed that because they were pulling over people just for looking Hispanic, to ask them about their status, their migration status in the United States. And when someone wasn't able to confirm that they had legal status, quote unquote, according to immigration law, they were then detained immediately by an ICE officer who was following them behind the state trooper or riding with the state trooper in the passenger seat. And so that's what we've been noticing this whole week.
Yeah. So obviously the energy level in terms of, and you're right, when you talked about this quote unquote pep talk that was had over last week when the U.S. Attorney or the Attorney General and the Director of or the Secretary of War, and I'm still trying to figure that one out, as well as Stephen Miller came down here to basically drop some red meat and say, you guys are unleashed. You can do whatever you need to do, however you need to do it. Just get it done, the whole 9 yards, which I was just absolutely appalled at. But in terms of all of this, Hunter, now you've been on the streets for a long time, and you're a guy who doesn't like injustice in any form or fashion. To be a part of what we are seeing now from your perspective, tell me a little bit about what goes through your head when you see this on a daily basis.
I mean, to me, I think, first off, like, everybody I know, Democrat, Republican, left, right, everybody wants to feel safe, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that a lot of it is just propaganda from the Trump administration. It's all smoke and mirrors. If they were here looking for criminals, they would have cold case files. They would be putting these highly trained federal agents looking for actual criminals, not flooding poor black and brown communities and doing mass pullovers for made-up crimes or infractions, and sometimes no infraction at all.
When you talk to some of these individuals who have been pulled over, and I've seen some of your videos or whatever, and people are they just don't know. They have no reason as to why they're being pulled over in the first place. To understand that the troopers are writing tickets left and right. When I first heard the number 300 troopers in this city, 300, plus everybody else, it felt heavy to me from the inception. Clearly now that this is starting to sink in a little bit here in the community because the people have been stopped and are seeing a more of a presence. What are they telling you in terms of how they're feeling about all of this at this time?
Well, people are afraid. People are afraid to take their children to school. People are afraid to go to work. And even people who have legal status are afraid to come out because they might be part of a mixed status family, and the wife or their husband might be the person who is undocumented, and they are just afraid to risk being outside, and that does not feel like public safety. You should not. If you are in a safe place, there's no reason why you should be afraid. We should not be having community members terrorized by federal agents who are paid by our tax dollars.
I've seen some of the videos on your V901 page, and you're getting views. I mean, you're getting views by the thousands. I mean, there are thousands of people that have seen your videos. So what does that tell you about the mindset of not only folks here, but folks who may be watching from God knows where all over this country that are paying attention to what is happening here right now?
I think that people are looking for help, and it's not from the police. It's from their community. It's from us. It's from people who care and show love and get out there and support them. And it's like, as many views as you see, the amount of messages that we are getting from people who are scared to pick up their children, scared to go to the grocery store. I run a soup kitchen, and I talk to low-income folks all day long, and people don't have the money to get these outrageous car tags these days.
Yeah.
Sometimes a brake light is the difference between eating and not. And coming into the poorest city in the country and mass writing traffic tickets is going to exacerbate the poverty in this city. It is causing real harm to low-income individuals.
So I guess, as I look at this, and we hadn't really got any answers as to how long this is going to last. We've heard the governor say, well, we want this to go for a while. This is going to be an extended period of time, which is scary in and of itself, that there's no end to where we are in all of this. And it feels to me, and maybe you all and a lot of other folks, that we're being made an example of, for this country. Okay, we're in Memphis now, and we're gonna clean this place up. And it's sort of contradictory if you are to believe our local law enforcement authority that crime has trended down in some of the various categories that we have heard about. But to see this much attention focused on this city, it really feels funny. And we're talking about the Hispanic community. We are a sanctuary city. We have a high Hispanic population in this city.
Well, technically, we're not a sanctuary city. The city of Memphis and Shelby County government have never declared this place a sanctuary city.
Okay. All right. Having said that, but we do have a pretty healthy population here, and you mentioned that folks are scared. I mean, because under the guise of we're coming to your town and we're going to arrest the most violent criminals and we're going to take all these folks off the street. When you're busting into churches and grocery stores and schools and a lot of other places that people are here working and doing what they need to do, not justifying, but obviously the message is being completely lost, which tells me that there might not have been real truth in what they talked about in the first place. While you're coming here and you're 45% of the people who are arrested in this town are Hispanic people. 45%.
Exactly. We don't even make that much of the population.
Yeah. So I mean, and when you see that, does that validate your reasoning for being out here to let people know we're not making this stuff up? This is what's happening.
Exactly. Because we need to expose how the federal government is showing up in the city of Memphis.
Yeah.
Memphis is like usually the underdog. We're off the radar. The federal government was talking about going to LA, going to Chicago, going to Portland, right? But Memphis, it felt like, why Memphis? And obviously there's a lot of reasons why Memphis, right? I think one of the biggest reasons is we let a billionaire who is literally besties with Donald Trump to build his supercomputer here in Memphis. Apart from that, this state's government is already xenophobic and anti-immigrant, so it's the perfect place for the federal administration and Donald Trump to experiment their xenophobic policies and utilize this as a place to, yes, like you said, make an example out of Memphis, because as we know, the immigrant community in Memphis is the largest growing population in the city of Memphis.
Yes.
And so for them to come to the city of Memphis and try to pull people over in traffic stops as a way to detain people, that is completely unconstitutional. And somebody who has a civil infraction should not be deported just because they got a traffic citation. That is not grounds for deportation. If you are going to deport somebody who has murdered someone, deport somebody who has raped a child, deport somebody who is truly causing harm to our community. But somebody who's going to work and has a busted taillight, you're going to deport them because they have a busted taillight? That just exemplifies the type of racial profiling that is happening in our city.
I think I saw a video of you. Someone got stopped. It was a black female, and you asked her, well, why she got stopped. They said something about the taillight was fading or something to the effect of something. I don't know.
When I'm at these scenes, I try to talk to the people if I can.
Sure.
And on that one stop, I asked her, I was like, why did you get pulled over? And she said the cops said that my headlights were too dim, which was absolutely false. It's on my video. Her headlights were fine. Once again, it's just an example of making up a reason to violate people's rights.
So when we've seen, I'm sure you have too, we've seen emails, texts people are sending to each other about what happens if you get stopped by one of these federal officials. If someone asks you that question, and I'm sure you've been asked that question many times, what do you tell folks in terms of how they should act, how they should react? Because it's a bit unnerving if you're driving around all of a sudden and then you look up and you see lights and flashing lights and somebody's pulling you over. But in terms of how you respond, what advice would you give folks?
Well, it's complicated because on the one hand, I don't like to give advice where I'm telling someone to show that they are not dangerous.
Sure.
Because Black and brown people are already perceived as dangerous because of the stereotypes that are placed upon us. And so what we have been telling people is make sure that your hands are visible, make sure that you don't make any sudden movements, breathe, speak calmly, yes sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am, no sir.
Sure.
Follow instructions and make sure that you have a plan in place. Make sure that you have a power of attorney in place, because if they're going to detain you on a civil infraction, you need to make sure that you already have an emergency plan in the event that you get detained by an ICE officer.
You know, one thing I did see, and I noticed this is the first time, this has been a week now, and every day all they gave was the number of arrests. You know, actually we arrested this many people, never talked about charges, never talked about the location and sound, never talked about anything in specific. Then all of a sudden today we see a number, almost over 200, but then we see it broken down into this and that. And so is that pressure? I mean, because I mean, obviously when your local law enforcement doesn't have any idea exactly what's going on, or I don't know if they do or not, but because none of the rest of us did, it seems, I'm just curious as to why they decided, you think they decided now was the time maybe to release a bit more specific information about this?
You know, at the end of the day, if you send that many cops in anywhere looking to arrest people, they're going to find plenty of people to arrest.
Yeah.
But even in light of that, there's not enough context on any of those. A lot of the people I'm talking about didn't have a lawful stop to begin with, so anything after that unlawful stop will get dismissed in court. And I'm hearing this over and over again, and talking to organizers in Washington, D.C. and L.A., that's the same story they're telling. Their courts are clogged up, and every case is getting dismissed.
Yeah. This is really, it's really an unprecedented situation. And again, I know you've urged folks too to if you're out and about and you see something, you need to record that so we all can get a bit, because we're not getting a whole lot of information just willy-nilly, but we need specific information in terms of locations and some of these streets and some of these areas. Where are you all finding, is there a specific part of town, before I let you go, that we're seeing more of these stops and infractions and others?
Well, take a guess, Chip.
South Memphis, I would imagine, maybe north part of town. Or
there is a lot, but
yeah.
Berclair, Nutbush,
yeah.
Hickory Hill,
Yeah.
predominantly Hispanic neighborhoods. I mean, by and far, that's where we're seeing the most action.
I saw, I don't know if it was you or maybe it was Maria, confronted one of the troopers. I think it was. Did I see a video that was?
Yeah.
I remember it was that asking. It was you, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
asking. Oh yeah, it was you. I remember that. Yeah.
And so, like, a relevant point is we have a legal right to film the police. And so I film the police. By and far, 9 out of 10 times, the police come and confront me. So
Like,
at
what are you
these,
doing?
at these,
Why are you-
I'm filming the police. These multi-agency units, like the FBI went behind my car and started taking pictures of my license plate for filming them. I didn't say a word. I didn't say anything. That the video you're talking about, I was across the street filming, and they had to come up to me, a state trooper and an HSI agent, which is an ICE agent. And
Right.
I'd also like to note that the state trooper signed a 287G program, which gives them legal authority to enact.
ICE law, basically immigration law.
Yeah, they're de facto ICE agents. All the troopers in this city.
Okay.
That's why you see HSI and ICE riding with the troopers around town. So yeah, I'm personally not going to be intimidated. I'm going to continue to film. I'm going to keep standing up for my rights. I'm going to keep standing up for others. And I'm going to do what my heart and my faith calls me to do, which is this work.
Well, listen, first of all, I'm so happy that you all could take the time to come in here and talk about this tonight, because I hadn't really seen, I think we might be the first to have you here, because this is important. And it's important to everybody. Black, brown folks in particular need to pay close attention to what is happening here, because and people talk about, well, the mayor Young, the mayor this. Well, first of all, he's outside of all of this. This was a Governor Lee thing, President Trump thing, a Governor Lee thing, and to order all of this. The next shoe that will drop, I would imagine, is the National Guard, if they come, should they come, and what kind of authority would they have should they come? And my mind in thinking about all of this right now is, well, they don't have any arrest authority, so, why are they here besides standing around and looking? But do you have a concern about if they do come, what might happen there?
Well, the National Guard is being deployed under Title 32, so that is actually going to give them policing agency. So they will be able to ride along with all the other state troopers
Sure.
and all the other federal agencies and conduct arrests. Now, a National Guards person or member cannot arrest somebody by themselves. They can detain someone, and then they can call an officer to come and arrest that person formally.
Yeah.
So my concern is that we will continue to see more state intimidation. This is intimidation that is happening in our community. They have $100 billion to police our streets, but they don't have $100 million to put into our schools. This is not the way to eradicate poverty. We need investment in our community. We need investment in our young people. We need to get guns off the streets. Absolutely. My brother was murdered and he was only 18. So it's very close to me, the passion to eradicate violent crime, but this is not the way. This is not the way. This is not going to help our people.
Listen, thank you all so much for coming in. I am very proud of the effort. I'm going to continue to talk about this. We can't act like it's not here, because it is here, and we need to be able to respond and react to it. Maria and Hunter, thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate that. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from the Museum of Science and History, presenting the return of Laser Live, a monthly concert series running July through November in the AutoZone Sharp Planetarium. Each event features live bands with laser light shows, with WYXR DJs providing a pre-show set at 6 p.m. More information and tickets can be found at moshmemphis.com/laser-live.
What does being a great mentor look like? Someone who shows up, listens, and is consistent. You don't have to be perfect to be the perfect mentor to a young person. To learn how you can make a difference and join the mentoring movement, visit grizzliesfoundation.org.
Support for WYXR comes from the Halloran Center Presents, featuring the Queen's Regency Ball, a 19th century soulful murder mystery in partnership with Princeton James Productions. This interactive dinner theater experience includes a night of mystery, music, and more on October 25th and 26th. More information at orpheum-memphis.com.
Support for WYXR, including our 2025 Dowd Awards, comes from Iris Etc. Catering. Chef Kelly English offers flavors from his childhood in southern Louisiana, catering weddings, private events, corporate luncheons, and more. More information can be found at irisetc.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Chip with you. And boy, I hope you had a chance to listen to the conversation that we had just a moment ago about what is really happening on these streets, especially with the federal incursion. I wanted to bring on my next guest, who has been with us before, but this man has dedicated his life to cleaning up these streets and to getting our youngsters focused in positive directions. But I had to have him on because of what is happening on these streets right now. Please welcome back to the show, Durrell Cowan. He is the founder and executive director of Heal 901, an organization working hard to try to make things better in our city. How are you, friend? It's good to see you.
Doing well as can possibly be during these times right now, Chip. It's a pleasure to be with your listeners once again. But these some very interesting days that we're having in the great city of Memphis.
Speak to that. Interesting days in reference to what we're seeing here and a lot of the pressure that has been heaped upon us as a community. How does it make you feel? What are your thoughts as we deal with the new normal in this city?
Well, that's one thing I'm consistently reiterating to everyone. This isn't our new norm. This is just our new situation. Just understand these individuals are visitors. They're not going to be a permanent staple in the public safety infrastructure of the city of Memphis forever. They're visitors. And what I'm really urging everybody right now is to know your right and know how to engage when you're dealing with federal aid. These are not just MPD officers that we're used to. This is not just Shelby County Sheriff deputies that we're used to. We're talking about a slew of federal individuals who are now patrolling our streets, who don't know the streets and don't know our community. So we're just telling everybody, please be on your best behavior, know your laws, know your rights, and be respectful, because I don't want to see anyone get hurt while these individuals are in our city.
You're right. It is a temporary existence, although we hadn't gotten too much of a clue as to what that word means these days, because according to the governor, he wants this to be sustained. And if you know what sustained means, it doesn't mean we're here this week and we're going to be gone next week. But in terms of the number, and it's only been 5 days, maybe 6, that we have seen in terms of the number of arrests. Over 320 arrests in this city so far in just a very few days. Does that at all concern you in any way?
Just understanding that the end of one thing for sure, let me say this. Here, number one, we work in a space of violence intervention and prevention. Our job is to intervene and prevent.
Right.
Now, when you get into the space of suppression, that's something that law enforcement does. And one of the things that's being utilized to say the reason why we have this heavy presence is due to the amount of individuals that have warrants for federal crime, for felonious crime in Memphis. It's the amount of individuals who have murder warrants. I don't have anything to do with individuals who have warrants out for murder, but when you have a shortage of MPD officers, and this has been something that's been advertised for 10 years running, we can only know that at some point, some relief had to come forward for them. And unfortunately, I hate to see the relief in this fashion, but this is what we're dealing with right now.
I heard you recently talking about, in reference to what is happening federally in terms of funding, in terms of programs like yours, and that you have, your organization has been crippled, as have many others that do the work that you do on a daily basis, by the fact that the dollars aren't coming the way they need to, and talk about how that is affecting you on a daily basis, and more importantly, how it will affect you down the road in terms of some of the things that you have been wanting to do in and around our city.
I think as of right now, that has been a drastic impact for our organization, losing $1.5 million over the course of 3 years. That's a huge lick for a BIPOC organization, a Black-led organization to have to deal with. But we're navigating the nuances the best that we can. And I will say that, to see those funds removed, to now see those funds be reallocated to have federal agents be in our communities, just understand they get a pay bonus for coming to our communities. It's outside of their normal jurisdiction, outside of normal working areas. So there is some increased pay for these individuals. So this is where the money went. So one thing we have to look at and be clear with, the federal agents are not going to come and help us when it comes to long-term sustainability in Memphis. The state, we heard our governor just say that he's allocating $100 million towards this region for this type of work. But one thing we have to look at, and this is where it's important for all of us in the city of Memphis, and especially Shelby County, what is our elected official? What dollars are our elected officials putting in the budget for tax dollars regarding public safety and the new individuals that are in the space of public safety? And that's where the question is. What is the sustainable investment? And we hear that Mayor Young is making strides with seeing what that number would look like. But we just got to put our foot on the gas. We respect everybody in their position and respecting our work. But respect doesn't come in the form of words. It comes in the form of line items and budget. So until we see the line items in the budget as a permanent staple, saying that we support this work and we're going to fund this work continuously, just know that the leadership of Hill 901 is going to continuously fight to find the dollars to impact the communities in which we serve, because you all are that important to us.
Talk about, before you go, talk about what our young people, some of our young folks who have made certain decisions in the wrong direction out here on these streets now. A lot of times, a lot of these young folks like to challenge authority, but in this time that we're in now, what would you tell some of these folks who may have that mindset about how different this might be now versus how it was before they got here?
Guys, this is not what it used to be. This is not business as usual. Our mayor, Mayor Young, is doing a great job of trying to advocate for what he would like to see these individuals do. But the truth of the matter is, we have no control over how federal agents move when they get in our community. So young people, I can tell you this, please listen to me and listen to me well. You're going to have to follow the rules one place or another. The question is, would you rather follow the rules while free or follow them while in a cell? That's the question that they have to answer. The rules have to be followed. You're going to. So either you can listen while free, take the advice of us, know your rights, follow instructions, stay out of the way, or you can face the consequences of the suppression side, which is being in the box and have to listen to someone in a uniform either way it goes.
You know, I've admired you for a very, very long time because I know your heart and I know your commitment is true to these young folks. This really is, and one final thing before I let you go, this really is an effort of being a galvanized community. If we want to see a change, if we want to, not to feel intimidated or threatened by this federal exercise that is happening here, we all need to buy in. We all need to support each other. I don't know that there's any time that I've seen in recent memories that message is more important than it is now. Agree, disagree, or what?
I agree with you 110%, bro, Chip. And I'm going to say this. It's just time for us to get aligned. There's one Memphis. You're talking about one of the most beautiful cities in America, full of rich culture and history. And it's time for us to sit down, galvanize, and make significant investments in the most precious commodity that Memphis has. It's not Beale Street. It's not the downtown area. It's not Whitehaven. It's not even Midtown. It's our young people. The most precious commodity that Memphis has is the future of Memphis. And let's make sure that we don't let them down, guys.
Durrell Cowan, ladies and gentlemen, the founder and executive director of Heal 901. That's why I wanted you on this show, my friend. And I hope that folks, if they don't hear it live now, they check back in on this show, because the words you said mean an awful lot. We're going to continue to pray for our city. As you said, we are one Memphis, and if there's any time for us to become even more unified, now is the time. Thank you, my friend.
It's right now.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. I really
God
appreciate
bless
you. God bless you as well. Thank you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now that was worth waiting for, because again, we all know that there's a lot of pressure on us right now as a city. The question is, what are we going to do? How are we going to deal with that? Let me take one final break. When we come back, we will continue on this Monday ride. It's Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't go away.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR and the 2025 Stereo Sessions comes from Independent Bank, serving Memphis, its businesses, and the greater community. You can find more information on how iBank can help you navigate your financial journey and hear client stories at i-bankonline.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this rainy Monday evening. Chip with you. And my next guest is sort of tilts the direction of the conversation a bit toward education. Memphis and Shelby County Schools has initiated a program, and it is a program that it's a mandatory program for students that I thought was very interesting in reference to guns and gun safety and gun violence. They've initiated a program, and I wanted to have my next guest come and talk with us a little bit about that. Please welcome to the show Dr. Rahmod Traylor. He is an education manager at the inside the Memphis and Shelby County Schools District. And Dr. Traylor, it is great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
So listen, talk to us a little bit about this program. But let's start at the beginning. You know, when things like this happen, they just don't fall out of the sky. There takes planning. There's planning and things that go into making decisions like this. Why was this such an important component for the schools to initiate and really make it a mandatory program for all students?
So yeah, that's definitely a great question. So this began back in July. The legislation was passed from the state of Tennessee. Of course, us to teach this new curriculum, which was the firearm safety curriculum, that was passed down by the state. And so what the state did was they provided us with an outcomes of what our students should be able to learn from K2 to 3-5 to 6-12. Mm-hmm. And so then we knew that once this was passed in July, we had to get on the ground and get the ball rolling, so to speak, to, of course, reach out to our stakeholder partners, such as Labana from the health perspective, Tennessee Wildlife, from Memphis Police Department, to the sheriff, and just from our students, parents, just to get input, and also connected with some of our stakeholders, some of our school principals as well, just to get as much input that we possibly could to come up with this curriculum based off the outcomes.
So having done that, and you did your homework, and you got everyone, kind of all the folks that needed to be involved were involved in all of this. Was the initial response to this overwhelmingly positive, would you say, in terms of this does need to be taught in these schools, or what?
So yeah, I mean, from the most part, I think you had both sides. We had, one side from us on the curriculum side as teachers, educated, we saw this as an opportunity. A lot of parents, we saw this also as an opportunity, but there also were some that was a little bit, nervous about it.
Sure.
Wanted to know exactly, of course, which is natural. Wanted to know exactly what was, going to be taught. And so we had to be very sensitive in this subject, because it is very sensitive when you talk about children, especially younger ones. And being that this wasn't any opt-out curriculum that parents could opt out, keep their kids from learning, we wanted to take this opportunity to use it as a moment to really address some of the underlying issues that may be plaguing, I know, across this nation, but also within our city as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is something that we have heard about, we know about, we live it and breathe it every day. Gun violence is a very serious issue as pertains to our entire generation, whether it's young folks or older folks. And now it's a one-day course. Am I correct in that? It is a mandatory one-day course, right?
Correct.
Okay. And they basically. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yes, it is one day that's taught annually once a school year.
Okay.
That of course, and that'll be going on to remainder until legislation's changed. So once a year, so that is correct. So basically, are they learning just the fundamentals of gun safety in terms of all of that? I'm just curious as to what, if somebody is just hearing about this now, what they can expect that children to take from this. So basically, what they're learning about is just, and it varies it's tiered instruction, tier 1 instruction,
right?
Which means it's age appropriate, based from K2 to 3-5, 6-12. So K2 students, kindergarten through second grade students, won't learn the same thing that third through fifth grade students will learn.
Right.
And third through fifth in the same aspect won't learn the same thing that 6 through 12 learn. So what they're basically learning about is firearm safety, being responsible, explain the difference, or similarities between toy guns and real firearms, understanding and reciting the force safety rules, and just demonstrate mature attitude about firearms. And so they go through, they understand what those determined vocabulary are in terms inside of those curriculum, inside of those outcomes, and they utilize that. And of course, we go through scenarios and then also do different activities to raise their level of understanding along with what they're learning throughout the outcome of the lessons.
I would imagine, too, Dr. Traylor, that one of the things that would be most important is what these kids learn at school, that parents need to they have to buy into all of this, too. And because parents have a huge role in governing what their young folks do. So I guess I'm asking, what do you hope that this spawns, this class spawns in terms of communication, a better communication between our young folks and their parents or their guardians?
So yes, one of the things that we're hoping is just like for myself, I know I'm dating a lot of people back then, but when we did the fire hazard curriculum, we was learning that if you caught on fire, stop, drop, and roll.
Right.
And even as an adult now, learning this, we're hoping that this would get children to understand the importance about firearm safety, understanding what to do if they encounter that is not video games, it's not something to be played with, but it's also an obligation for us to report when we see something. So we want them to stop, don't touch, walk away, or run away, and tell an adult. And so we want them to understand that portion within those rules. And you never know, there could be an outcome where it's saving, their classmates, their teachers' lives just by seeing something and saying something. And so that's what our main focus is just utilize as an opportunity. We know that guns are just a part of our country and our communities.
Sure.
We want them to understand the importance of, that they're not toys, the importance of having an attitude, a mature attitude towards them, to know that, if something's going on, of course to say something. So that's what our hope, and hopefully, it may curb some of the violence that's going on in our community, and just for them to just understand the importance. We know the first step in any situation turn around is through education.
Yes, sir.
And so we hope that this actually will be a great starting point for us.
Well, listen, congratulations on this. We hope that it is as big a success as you hope it to be. Dr. Rahmod Traylor, ladies and gentlemen, from Memphis and Shelby County Schools, the education manager, talking about this gun safety program that they're teaching your young folks. I hope that all goes well. Thank you, Dr. T, for coming on the show tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely that. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me say this before I get out of here. And I don't do this often. I always think that we put together some pretty decent shows, but tonight, if you missed any of it, go to my page. It's on Facebook Live. We're recording the show, and watch this broadcast tonight. Maybe get a better understanding as to what we're all trying to figure out, what is happening in and around our communities. But as Bryn plays this out, thank you all for being a part of everything that we do. Because we couldn't do what we do without you. And of course, Bryn is up next with another all-new, fresh edition of Event Horizon. He rock and roll and ready to go. So before we get out of here, as always, for all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, for lovely Lola, where you at? Did you do it? I didn't see it. Do it again. Let me see. I didn't catch it. How come I don't see you back? Okay, this is just late. Anyway, you'll see her in a minute. That was Lola. And for Bryn, as I said, don't go away. Event Horizon is up next. And for your humble host, the Chip, thank you, Memphis, for being a part of what we try to do. Go out. There she is. I see everything's delayed. I saw her twice back there. So listen, go out and live your life. Okay, be safe, be careful. Watch out for your surroundings. Watch out for other folks because they may not be watching out for you. We are one Memphis. Let's stay together. Let's be together. Let's function together, and let's go. So that's my final parting word. If the Lord says so, I'll see you again next week. Until then, we are out.